Hi guys and welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll be talking about how we made profit today in spite of it being a very tricky day to trade and basically a glimpse into how directional traders are thinking, right? So we'll be covering Bank Nifty analysis for the week and also Nifty analysis, and we'll be talking a small portion of Fin Nifty also, right? So let's begin. So first in Bank Nifty, let's start with the weekly time frame. I told you in my last video, the past 2 weeks low is extremely important. Why? Because the two lows were placed very near to each other. So whenever we go below that, we'll be expecting a bearish move. Now, ideally, we would want a closing below this, correct? So we on Friday, the closing, if it's below 47,400, we can plan for some more bearishness before we get a up move again. Now, next, let's look at the daily chart. So in all the videos I've spoken about, I've always spoken about this breakout candle. This breakout candle was 27th December 2023. Whenever the breakout happens of the previous high, that breakout candle's low becomes extremely important to trade. Now this low was 47,800. The moment we broke that low, like I sensed that the up move may not be as. Now I showed you multiple examples. I'll just show them quickly to you again. The breakout candle's low, when it gets like taken out, the up move doesn't seem to last a lot. So quick look at these examples. The first one, first example, this breakout candle's low was not taken out. So the up move was ferocious. Okay, it's on upside. Now next, the second example, this breakout candle's low, the moment it gets taken out here, the up move, any upside, it doesn't seem to be very strong after that. And the same thing happens here in the third example, right? This green candle is the breakout candle, and below the low of that, when market trades, the up move, you won't see such big green candles then. Simple. So this is the reason why we were expecting some bearishness, okay, in the markets. Additionally, January is an extremely tricky month to trade. And also before the budget, usually we get a dip. If you do the analysis of all the budgets, you'll find that after the budget, market usually goes up only, right? So before it goes up, there's generally a dip, and then it keeps going up after the budget. So three things, I'll recap now. The first one is 47,800 was taken out. Second one is January is a very tricky month. And third one is there is a small dip, before the budget. Now, all these factors were like the reason why we had some bearishness in our minds. After this, all we needed was a good entry in our trades. So let me discuss that now. On the daily chart currently, yesterday in her video, Nikki spoke about this M pattern here. M pattern is a okay, so basically there's a lower low made in the markets now, which means the sellers have started to become slightly more active now, right? Higher high means buyers are always winning, and a lower low means sellers have started to win, correct? So yesterday, we all carried bearish positions. All the directional traders, might have only call sell positions yesterday. There was no reason to sell puts. Now what happened today? Unfortunately, there was a big gap up. I'll speak about it, like how we tackle that in the 15-minute time frame. But basically, after the gap up, it again started to sell off, and then we broke 47,400 also. If you remember, I spoke about this on the weekly time frame. So below 47,400, the move was very ferocious. On the daily charts, there can be a move towards this place, 46,370. Why? Because the breakout happened from here. So there can be a breakout retest before it goes up, tries to go up again, correct? So we might see more bearishness if we close below 47,400 on the weekly time frame. Now, in Bank Nifty, let's talk about the 15-minute time frame. Yesterday we closed around 47,500 levels where we carried shorts. Today being a gap up, naturally we were in trouble in the call sells, okay, because we only carried call sell positions, not a single put sell we had. So after the gap up, it started to go up. Look at this candle. We decided, it was in a very small loss. We just booked the small loss and we just sat. Why? Because our bias was bearish. So we wanted to look for a bearish entry. One more thing I want to add is, when the market was making new highs, Bank Nifty today especially, when I speak, I'm speaking about Bank Nifty. So in Bank Nifty, whenever the new highs were coming, the options weren't making new highs. So that was the first indication that, you know, the up move may not be as strong. The up move usually continues when the writers are really scared of their positions, which means that there has to be a huge spike. So when there is no spike, there is a probability of a reversal. There's no surety, but probability. So the options were not making higher highs and Bank Nifty was making higher highs. So basically there's a divergence there. There's a mismatch there. And then we get one of our favorite patterns to trade, M pattern here. If you see properly on the 15-minute chart, there's a M pattern made here. Correct? And M pattern I told you is for sellers. So when this low broke, the low is 47,760. We just sold our calls aggressively. So we were in some small loss. Then we recouped that loss, became cost to cost. And the next candle was, you know, extremely bearish. The even 90 rupee calls had become, you know, 27, I think, in this candle. So there was a lot of decay in the calls. By this time, you know, we were in decent profits for the day. So the bearish entry we only got here at the break of the M pattern. Do you see the M? It makes a lower low, which means there's a possibility of a down move now. So for tomorrow, you know, I'd like to add 2 or 3 things. The first one is, you know, the calls have decayed heavily already. So if we get a gap down and especially if we get a gap down and let's say it forms a pin bar sort of a candle or a green Marubozu type of candle, I'm just going to be cutting all my shorts. I'll cut my call sells and then I'll take a fresh view on the market intraday tomorrow as to how it reacts. The overnight positions, definitely if there's a gap down, I'm going to be removing them. If there's a flat opening and the current day low gets taken out, which is 150, then you know the selling can continue. So I told you if there's a gap down and the candle is bullish in nature, which is like a pin bar or a Marubozu, then we probably will cut all the call sell positions and anticipate an up move then intraday. And if there's a flat opening and then we break 150 on the downside, then we'll continue rolling our calls on the downside. On the gap up, you know, gap up is going to be extremely tricky. If tomorrow also a big gap up happens, definitely the option sellers who sold calls are going to be in loss. But then, you know, like this M neckline is there, and additionally this seller basically like huge selling started from here. So until this high is taken out, I'm still going to hold my call sell positions for tomorrow. Because usually, you know, on expiry day, these tend to go to zero only, mostly. Intraday, there are a few spikes up and down, but then eventually they go to zero. So to summarize Bank Nifty, first of all, on the weekly time frame, we were looking for 47,400 on the downside to be broken. It broke. Then we were waiting for M pattern to form. Yesterday it did. And then we carried call sell positions, which we tackled, which we got out at small loss today. And then at the M formation, we just sold calls additionally. And then we kept rolling them down because they were decaying very quickly. Today by day end, all the calls have decayed a lot. And so tomorrow, if there's a gap down and a strong candle and at the gap down, then I'm just going to book all my positions shorts. If there's a flat opening and if it breaks 47,150 on the downside, I'll be continuing my call selling trade. And then, you know, probably think of rolling down more. And if there's a gap up, most probably I might, if the call spikes a lot, I'll be like cutting my call sell positions and then bringing them up, rolling them up basically. And I'll be holding calls until this level of 47,800 is taken out on the upside. I don't think that market is going to go above that tomorrow. So that was Bank Nifty. Let's speak about Nifty now. So in Nifty on the daily time frame, as you can see, this green candle was the breakout candle. The low of this candle is 21,500 approximately. So, you know, the 21,500 level, it's been tested 3 times now approximately. And if it breaks down, I think there's going to be a good move on the downside in Nifty. So let's see if this works or no. Now, you know, let's look at the 15-minute chart. See, Nifty closed above yesterday's closing price, right? And Bank Nifty closed below the low of yesterday. So Bank Nifty is more bearish than Nifty. Even though Nifty didn't fall as much, I still think that this level is going to be hard to be taken out, right? But I'd like to sell more options on Nifty once 21,500 level breaks. I already spoke about it in the daily time frame. The same logic applied here basically for Nifty. If there's a gap up, I'll be looking for a reversal. If there's a flat opening and if the current day low is taken down, then I'll be looking for initiating more call sell positions. And if there's a gap down, especially a big gap down, and there's a formation of a pin bar or a bullish Marubozu, then I'll be looking to get out of my trades and then tackle the market on the intraday basis. Now, for traders who trade Fin Nifty, yeah, today was a horrible day, I think, for them. Most of the traders I saw on my timeline, they made huge losses. Now, a word of caution: if you're a directional trader and anytime a position goes against you, because you know we are not going to be right 100% of the time. So only risk management can save you at the end of the day. What works currently is you have to set a stop loss limit for the day. For example, if your capital is 1 crore, you have to decide, I'm just going to be okay losing, let's say 33,000 profit, 0.3% for the day. And you have to trade with that, or whatever, you know, stop loss works for you. Maybe 0.5% works for you, or 1% works for you. Whatever it is, you have to be disciplined enough to like follow the stop loss and not trade after that. During such days, what happens, like they work hard throughout the month, you know, they make 0.5% every week, and then in this one day they might give up a lot of percentage. This makes no sense, you know, from a risk management perspective. So if basically you watch our videos and if you trade similarly to us, please avoid trading Fin Nifty. Bank Nifty is far better. So that was it for the English speaking audiences. Now I'll be talking in Hindi for all the 3 indices. Okay. So first in Bank Nifty, वीकली टाइम फ्रेम, मैं बहुत जल्दी एक क्विक रिकैप देता हूँ आपको कि बैंक निफ्टी में हमने आज प्रॉफिट कैसे किया और क्यों किया और हमारा बेरिश व्यू क्यों था. सो वीकली चार्ट में अगर आप देखोगे तो पिछले 2 वीक का लो बहुत पास में था, विच इज 47,400. ठीक है, ये राइट साइड में जो स्क्रीन दिख रहा है लाइन 47411, वो लेवल देखो, खाली वो लेवल देखो सिर्फ. तो 47,400 जैसे ही टूटा उस लेवल के नीचे तो बेरिशनेस एक्सपेक्टेड था, और अगर फ्राइडे को अगर क्लोजिंग आती है 47,400 के नीचे और भी बेरिशनेस एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं हम. डेली चार्ट पर एक एम बन चुका है बैंक निफ्टी में, अपने प्रीवियस लो को तोड़ा है उसने. हायर हाई जैसे ही मार्केट जाता है इसको यूजुअली बुलिश माना जाता है, और लोअर लो जब जाता है मार्केट तो उसको बेरिश मानते हैं. तो ये फर्स्ट साइन दिया है मार्केट ने उसका प्रीवियस लो तोड़ने का कि यू प्रॉब्ली कैन स्टार्ट थिंकिंग बेरिश. आज के 15 मिनट टाइम फ्रेम में यहाँ से बहुत अग्रेसिव सेलिंग आई है. तो जब तक ये अग्रेसिव सेलर का लो मतलब हाई नहीं निकल जाता है, मैं कॉल सेल को पकड़ के ही रहूँगा. मैं एट द मोस्ट उसको रोल कर दूंगा पीछे 1 या 2 स्ट्राइक, बट कॉल सेल से निकलूंगा नहीं मैं. अगर गैप अप होता है तो, अगर फ्लैट खुलता है कहीं पे भी और अपना करंट डे का लो तोड़ता है तो मैं कॉल को और भी नीचे लाऊंगा मैं अपने कॉल्स को. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मेरा कॉल है 48,000 का तो मैं उसको काट के 47,800 में या 600 में लाना प्रेफर करूँगा फिर कल की ओपनिंग देख के. और अगर गैप डाउन खुलता है और ऐसा पिन बार कैंडल बनाता है या एक ग्रीन अच्छी कैंडल बनाता है ये, तो बिकॉज कॉल्स बहुत ज़्यादा डिके हो गए आज और कल भी अगर गैप डाउन हुआ तो बहुत डिके होएंगे वो, तो बेहतर होगा कि हम सब काट दे और फिर इंट्राडे एक फ्रेश पर्सपेक्टिव से खेले हम. सो ये था बैंक निफ्टी का एनालिसिस. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट निफ्टी. निफ्टी में जो ब्रेकआउट कैंडल थी उस ब्रेकआउट कैंडल का लो है अप्रोक्सीमेटली 21,500 का लेवल. तो 21,500 का लेवल है वो 2 या 3 बार टेस्ट हो चुका है ऑलरेडी, और जितने ज़्यादा बार सपोर्ट टेस्ट होता है ना उतना ज़्यादा प्रोबेबिलिटी रहता है उसके टूटने का. तो बेसिकली हमको निफ्टी में रुकना है 21,500 के नीचे ट्रेड करने के लिए. एक स्ट्रॉन्ग 15 मिनट कैंडल क्लोजिंग आनी चाहिए उसके नीचे, तो आप कॉल बेचना प्रेफर कर सकते हो उसमें. निफ्टी में अगर वो 21,500 के नीचे आता है तो पूरे चांसेस है कि वो अपने ये 21 दिसंबर के लो को टेस्ट करे, 21,000 के आसपास आ सके वो. सो निफ्टी में सिंपल है, 21,500 के टूटने के लिए वी हैव टू पेशेंटली वेट, एंड जैसे ही वो टूटता है तो कॉल सेल्स करना है निफ्टी में. सो दैट वाज इट फॉर टुडेज वीडियो. आई गिव यू द लॉजिक्स फॉर व्हाई वी हैड अ बेरिश व्यू, and also covered key based on tomorrow whether there's a gap up, flat or a gap down, what's most likely what we are planning to do for tomorrow. So if you like the analysis and if it helped you in any way understand price action better, please drop a comment below and like tell us like if it helped you, and wish you a very good trading week for tomorrow, and wish you a very good week ahead for your trading.